and good morning. Welcome to the latest episode of the Diary Piece. This time I join myself and good mate Steve Hall down the beautiful Kingfisher Lake on the Bluebell complex. Actually joined us on day 5 of our session this morning. It's been a pretty hard slog, hasn't it, mate, the last few days?
It really has. We've had fish literally all over us and we've tried everything.
So the complex has been really busy. We arrived Monday morning, we're now on Friday morning. So we're going to do a full recap of everything that's gone up until this point, but it's finally happened this morning, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah,
You
mate.
might be able to see behind us, there's one in the sling waiting to have its photos taken, so we're going to get that one out and show you now, and then we'll do a full recap a bit later on. So yeah, let's get them out, mate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so after 5 days of hard work, here's our prize, a lovely two-tone, £29 common, it's gone 29 on the nose. So absolutely over the moon with this one, so we've worked really hard for this. So the really stuttery take this morning, the fish have been showing all over me, as they have been for the past few days to be fair, but it just felt right this morning. So there's a couple of anglers moved out to our left yesterday. So it meant there was only me and Steve in this corner of the lake, and I think that just worked in our favour. The fish have moved in, and so they finally got their heads down. So yeah, absolutely over the moon with this one. Gonna get some quick water shots, get them slipped back, and then hopefully there's time for another because the fish are still showing over the top of us. So yeah, over the moon. Made up. 5 days of hard work, eh?
Awesome.
Light up the room, shimmer like a chandelier. The way you talk, making it so crystal clear. I don't fall so easily, but what we got comes naturally.
Right, so join us round Steve's swim now, after slipping that fish back earlier today. And as I said, we just wanted to give you a sort of recap of how the session's gone really. So we arrived on Monday morning, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Had a look round, and the complex was rammed, to be fair, wasn't it?
It was superly busy, yeah. But it's expected, it's half term, and there's a lot of anglers on the lake. Not just this one, mallard and swan.
Yeah, so we arrived probably about 7:20, didn't we? And we were walking around for 2.5 hours in the end. We had our heart set on fishing kingfish. I think it's just one of those lakes that it just gets holy, doesn't it? We did want to come back on.
We've done a few sessions now, and every time you come, we learn a bit more about the lake, and we kind of had a plan on how we would approach a session. And kingfisher was our main priority, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think in the past we've maybe made it a bit difficult for ourselves, really, because it is a very difficult lake. It sees an awful lot of pressure. The fish are very riggy, and even though we come here with that mindset, knowing it's going to be difficult, we're not going to be bagging up, are we? I think
it's a one fish trip, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think we've done sort of 4 and 5 night sessions in the past, haven't we? I was lucky enough to nick one on our first session back in May last year, just as we were packing up, but then we've done a session since then, I think it's 5 nights in October, wasn't it? And you get a few days into the session, and then because you haven't had the fish, you start doubting everything you do, and you start changing your tactics, looking for different spots. And I think we've just made it harder for ourselves, really.
We did the second session, yeah, we definitely did, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a plan in our hands, didn't we? That's why we wanted to fish kingfisher, really. We thought we'll find our spots, stick to them, light baiting, and just fishing for a bite, basically, because you're never really going to sort of bag up on here unless they're properly on it. As you say, you are sort of fishing for one bite at a time.
One bite at a time, yeah.
So I say we did have a walk round Mallard, and we stood in a couple of swims where there was a fish come up right in front of us, and I don't know, we toyed with going on there, didn't we? But I think we had our heart set on Kingfish. There was a couple of swims free, which we weren't too sure about. It didn't give us an awful lot of water, but in the end it come down to a coin toss, didn't it?
It did come down to a coin toss, only because that lad had a 40 as well. I straight as he was walking past, but yeah, the lucky 10p coin toss it was, yeah. So.
Yeah, so we ended up, so came up heads, and we decided to come back onto Kingfish and take the two sort of best swims that remain. And say you've got sort of the point swims on the bank opposite the riverbank. They control the majority of water, so give you the most options.
Yeah.
But by the sound of things, everyone had sort of come on Sunday afternoon, hadn't they? But there hadn't been anyone on this bank, and I think that's really worked in our
it has worked in
really,
our favour, really. I think it's just quietened off a little bit this side.
Yeah.
Even though that wind it was a really cold wind blowing in, so a lot of people did think it's been bitter.
It has been freezing. It was -1 last night. Bibbies was frozen solid this morning. So I was when I had that fish, to be honest, when I first lifted into it, I actually thought it was a bream, and I'd shouted stay, and he hadn't heard me originally, and I was sort of playing it, and it felt a little bit more weight to it. So then I shouted again, but I wasn't convinced it was a carp, to be fair. I had stay in the water in -1, absolutely freezing.
Hands dropping off.
And then luckily it was a carp, so I think you would have killed me.
Yeah. If it was another bream, no, that'd have been it.
But yeah, so just over the moon. So we both said the same thing. Every time we come down here, you know, fishing for one fish.
Yeah.
We don't care who catches. It's just one of us. Like, you're just hoping one of us has a fish, really, aren't you? So,
yeah.
But so I say we're on Friday now. We've got one more night ahead of us. So it's Friday afternoon. The lake's starting to fill up again. There's a few people left this morning, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And then there's a few more people come on, and we imagine there's going to be a few more coming on tonight. So we've decided to just put a little bit more bait out before. So we've only been going fairly light, sort of 6 small spoms over the spot. I did put a little bit more out last night because we had that many fish over us, didn't we? And
there was a lot of shows last night.
Yeah, a sort of few fizzing up, and I think they probably cleaned me out last night. So I put a few more spoms out last night, and I put a few more out again, like midday today, probably around about 10 small spoms. But after having that fish, I think they'd probably clean me out, and they were still showing over us when.
Yeah, it was
when
really
I had that fish.
Yeah, and the lads on the side, our left, they pulled off last night late, so we kind of had near on a quarter of a lake to ourselves where the fish just came in, and this morning they were here in numbers, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
we decided to basically try and replicate that again,
Yeah.
haven't we? There is a couple of lads dropped on in the swims to our left, but there's another fella dropped on to my right. All the point swims, they emptied, and now they're all taken again. So we decided to just bait up, reel in for the rest of the day.
I think that's the best way, really, now.
Just hopefully let the fish come in, no lines in the water, and then say we'll get the rods back out this evening and just see what happens. But I say tactics wise, when we first came down in May last year, I just managed to nick one on a solid bag just in the edge. So the fish was showing right on top of me, and just lower the bag right in the edge, and just managed to nick one on the final morning, haven't we? So I've just gone in exactly the same approach. We found our spots, stuck to them, light baiting, and I've just put solid bags over the top. So I think you're approaching it a little bit differently, aren't you, Bo?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not a lot really. Still with the boilie approach and the bloodworm, keeping it simple. Again, looking for them clay spots was that was my number one aim, was to find the clay spots and then just fish that spot, and hopefully in the duration time away out the lake the fish will pass. If they didn't, and obviously they were showing in other areas of the lake and we could possibly move in our stay, then yes, we would have done. But as it's worked out, it's worked out in a favour, and we've kept it going in steadily, and the fish have been showing. But I think they are really riggy fish, and they pick, and they'll pass, and they might even go past your spot once, even 10 times, and you don't know how many times your rig's getting picked up.
So that's the thing, isn't it? You sort of, with the baiting approach, I think personally, I think they're quite likely to spook off big beds of bait, which is why we just kept it minimum, really, just enough to hold them there long enough for you to get a bite, rather than stoving a load of bait in and then them just spooking off the spot. I mean, you did have the first opportunity yesterday, didn't you?
Did have the first opportunity. So I'm like opportunity man, really. With the it came on a zig. Literally, they were showing in front of me, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, they started drifting in closer. So I'm fishing. I've got 45 yards, so I'm at 11 wraps. I'm fishing at now, so it comes back. So I think I've set my rods to about 10.5, and then to my left, it started showing. So I quickly put a zig out on its head where the rings were, and that was in the morning. And then about 5 o'clock.
Yeah, probably about 5. Yeah.
It was just a slow and steady take, hit the fish, and unfortunately, the one that got away again.
I felt like crying for you.
I was in tears, mate. I can't. You know, what was a bream last session, a big slab.
Bream this session.
And a bream this session. So it's the final night of redemption for me. I think.
I say it's one of those lakes you don't want to be losing them, do you?
No.
I say
No, you don't.
I think between us, we've probably done about 24 nights between us, and that's 2 fish landed, 1 lost. So.
Yeah.
I say it is a difficult lake. It's not the sort of place you want to be losing them, unfortunately. But it's just zig fishing, really. You've got no sort of dictation on how the fish takes the bait.
I'd fish zigs if we have to, but I'm not a fan on zigs. I do like my bottom baits.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But it's just, you know, if the fish aren't there and they want to be in the upper layers, then that's where you got to be.
Yeah.
But that's basically our tactics, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Obviously the zig was just a black piece of foam with a line, obviously just to imitate, you know, like tadpoles or just a natural fry or hatches in the water kind of thing. And then we just boost it up with the CC More spray just to give it a little bit more of an attractor, like so. And that's what got us the bite. But like last night, after that, I did put 2 zigs out. One at 6, and a one a little bit higher because we did see him in the water, didn't we?
Yeah, for a brief period yesterday.
And then I had one on the baited spot, but I do a nut in this morning, all over the spot. So and I was like, it's got to go, but it just didn't happen. So yeah.
I think it's sort of the story of our lives, that really, isn't it? They love a good show on here, and you can see probably 100 shows in a night right on top of you, and you just don't know what you're doing wrong sometimes. We've fished hard, so we've tried, stuck to our guns, but we tried zigs, fished on the bottom, varied the depths, everything, and I think it's just a numbers game half the time. I think the more fish you have over you, the more likely one of them is to trip up, and so I think we just managed to snail on last night.
I think that's it, and it just keeps to your guns really, and just do what you know is right. And we fished. We can't fish any better. No. And we've done what we can do. So hopefully, this tactic with no lines in, and we'll reap the rewards tonight.
Yeah, hopefully manage to claw one back tonight.
Oh yeah.
So we'll just we'll keep you updated for the rest of the session anyway. So we've got to be off tomorrow morning, haven't we? But still time. So yeah, we'll just keep you posted. And we'll hopefully see you with a fish in the net very soon.
Yeah, I'll be a big 40. Right guys, I've just thought I'd talk you through what bait I'm using and obviously show you guys. So basically the mix is the 15mm live system CC More. Basically I'm putting the whole ones in. I've got chops from more than anything rather than halves, and then I've got the bloodworm extract and the live system booster liquid on there as well to give extra traction. So yeah, normally make it up in the morning, and then put the booster systems in and let it just pretty much absorb into it. So yeah, that goes out probably about six bombs over the top, which isn't really a great deal. And yeah, that's what's been doing the doing this for me in the session really. Obviously I've not caught any carp yet, but that might come. But obviously the bream enjoy it. The rig I've just chose is the Combi Link with the stiff boom section, because obviously I do like to ditch the lead wherever possible, and the HeliSafe lead systems do that for me. So yeah, these go through, and then I'll probably fish this with just a balanced bottom bait, and then yeah, rig putty goes on there just to balance it all out nicely, so I get that soft slow sinking movement. So yeah, so fingers crossed it all goes on tonight, and that's what I'm doing.
Right, so back around in my swim now for the evening. I'm just about to get the last rod out, so just thought I'd quickly give you a little run through of how I've been approaching this session. So like I said earlier, I've just stuck to solid bags. This is the last one that's going out tonight. So in there you've got all sorts of little goodies. You've got some crumb Pacific tuna, some mini ultra mix, some bloodworm bag mix, some frozen water snails, and some frozen bloodworm as well. So there's plenty of goodness in there. And I've been spomming out the same mix over the top. The only difference being I've just been spomming out bigger chops really. So we've had the rods out the water since 11:30 this morning. We've rested the swim all day. Just coming into the evening now, so hopefully it's gonna pay off. So the 2 rods that I've already got out fishing, I literally couldn't have placed them any better if I'd swam out and placed them by hand. Both of them went down with an absolute crack. When I actually moved my left hand rod to be my right hand rod last night, and I've been fishing 2 rods on the spot, but I was getting a harder drop on the right hand side, so I've moved my left hander just to the right of me other rod, and they've both gone down with an absolute crack. And it was the right hand that did the fish last night. So they're both out mega tight at the moment. I say they're probably about 2 foot apart, so I literally couldn't have done any more. So it's in the lap of the carp gods now. So this one's just about to find its way out. I'm going to put this one probably a couple of rod lengths to the right of the spot. I did have a zig out there all last night, which didn't do anything. Obviously I've had the fish over the bait, and I think I was well and truly done on the remaining rod after that fish this morning. So I didn't bother recasting because I had another rod right on the spot, as I was fishing them really tight last night. And so probably about 2 hours after that fish this morning, the remaining rod on the spot, the bottom just lifted up tight and bounced, and then by the time I've lifted into it there was nothing there. So I think that was a fish well and truly getting away with it. So decided to fish all 3 on the bottom tonight, and hopefully lightning can strike twice. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll get this one out, and then we'll catch up with you soon.
You don't even need to try when it's just you and I. You don't even need to try when it's just you.
Right, so good morning. Another freezing cold start today, but we're round in Steve's swim because we've got some news, haven't we, mate?
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, it's been a really eventful night. The fish have obviously stayed in our area, which we hoped would do after resting the swim for yesterday.
I think it's definitely a good idea that.
Yeah.
So they literally pretty much bang on the same time as last night, just it was going dark. They've just been showing over as like mad, and they just have not moved all night, have they?
It's been absolutely a good show out there.
So yeah, you finally got your reward, haven't you?
I have, mate. Yeah. After all the stoves have been dancing all night, the right hander ripped off.
Yeah.
So
we haven't weighed it yet. We're just going to finish these brews and then get it out. We'll just get the camera gear sorted and get them out. But I'm actually scared to put a weight on it. It's
I'm not
colossal,
saying
isn't it,
nothing.
mate?
I'm not saying nothing.
It's certainly a PB anyway.
It's a PB.
So,
It's
yeah.
a PB, but we shall
so
see.
Both absolutely buzzing this morning, so we're going to finish these brews and get them out, and then we'll show you what we've got.
Well, last night we talked about redemption, and it does not come any sweeter than this. This is the one that went off this morning on the right hand rod. Absolutely blown away. New PB. Like I say, no sleep. After all the stows have been making musical notes all pretty much all night long. And I did think that the fish had probably done me. But no, this one fell to the trap this morning. We've waded in and it's 47.14. Absolutely blown away with this one. I just can't believe it. And like I said, it's a one fish trip. What a fish. Let's flip over and show you the side. Right, well, this is the other side of the bruiser. It's absolutely weighs a ton. I don't know what more to say really, but absolutely fantastic, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Look at it, just fucking brutalising me.
Yes, bro!
Come on!
Right, so that's it. Session done. All wrapped up, everything's away in the cars. We just brought the rods in now. So we eked it out till bite time had gone, but I think
Yeah, you
probably
never know.
last hour or so that was pretty much the end of it really. So we did have, I think I was done round about 11:30, 12 o'clock. After I had that fish yesterday, so we sort of waited until the very last minute just in case we could nick a last minute bite. But so I think if you had told us this the way the session had been ending last week, I think we would have bit your hand off. So
Every day, every day.
so like we said previously, we've done a few sessions here now, and every time we say you're fishing for one bite. We don't care who has it. Just between us, we'd like a fish, and I say it's a very difficult lake and.
It is a hard lake, but we've learnt every time we've come, and
Yeah.
we've followed the plan that we set out to do, and pretty much it's gone really, really well, and and we've really been lucky as well. So
Yeah, I say I think it's definitely a good shout reeling in all day yesterday. Because I say the fish just turned. Well, I don't think they left really, did they? As soon as it went dark, they were just all over us all night, weren't they? And to be honest, I felt like I should have had one really. I've reeled all three rods and they've all come in fine, so it's just one of those things. There's no reason why they wouldn't have gone, but I think that's just Kingfisher for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. Yeah, they are really, really riggy fish, and and even the small ones pick up and spit out. So yeah, we've had a result, and I'm still buzzing, and I will be buzzing and smiling for weeks.
I know. Yeah, so I think that's it from us. Then I say one last thing to say is obviously massive congratulations to Steve. So absolutely made up. We could capture that on film as well. So yeah, it's time for us to hit the road, and then I've got a lot of editing to do when we get back. I think it's gonna take some beating this one, isn't it? But
I think but we love a challenge.
Indeed. So we'll catch you again next time. Anyway, take care.
Cheers.